welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 9-game MLB DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for all the support so far. We're on the way to 800 subscribers. Thank you to everyone that has left a like, left a comment, tweeted at me, followed me over on Twitter, all of the above. Appreciate all of you. And if you are interested in some further premium content from me, I do offer some premium content that's linked below in the description. You get access to all the same tools that I use when building my own lineups. Going to help you become a much more profitable MLB DFS players. You get my power rankings, my cheat sheet, my bullpen data, my team hitting data, my splits leaderboard, my hot hitter StatCast data, and my starting pitcher data sheet. All very valuable tools that are going to help you in constructing your lineups. And then, of course, you get direct access to me. Ask me questions on Patreon, my posts, my Google Sheets, all the above. You can reach out to me in multiple ways. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my home run call of the day, and let's get into it. So we're going to go ahead and break down pitchers first. As always, I like to sort my sheet by carry. It's fantasy sports. We get points for strikeouts, and the top guy on the slate today is going to be Mr. Tyler Glasnow, taking on the Kansas City Royals. Comes in with a 35.8% K overall, 14.1 swinging strike rate, 34.3% K rate against righties, and a 37.6% K rate against lefties. Very dominant stuff across the board, and he's taking on a Kansas City Royals team today that doesn't really scare us. Only problem is they don't strike out the most, but it is in the Trop, which is a great pitching environment, pulling up the Tampa Bay Rays home ballpark. You can see a lot of red and yellow going on as far as out to the deep parts of the ballpark, which is what we're always liking to target when it comes to pitchers. And overall, Glasnow's just that good. 10-7 on FanDuel. Over on DraftKings, they got a price at 10-5, and like I said, the only thing that's really making us not like him to the full max is it would be better if he had a better strikeout upside matchup. However, with that being said, it's Tyler Glasnow. There's some bats coming back that have a bunch of strikeouts. Alberto Mondesi at the bottom of the order. Jorge Soler are going to be in there now. Those are some more strikeouts. Ryan O'Hearn, Calvin Gutierrez. So even Michael's at the bottom. So once he gets past the first half of the lineup, there's going to be a lot of strikeouts there. The only question is, there's some other good guys on the slate too. Trevor Bauer, but he's in the same situation, taking on a Houston team that strikes out even less. 30.8% K overall, 32.8% K rate against righties, and 28.6% K rate against lefties. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's all really good. Does give us some hard contact to lefties, but other than that, we're looking pretty good. And it's Trevor Bauer, elite talent across the board. 11-5 on FanDuel. He comes in as a 143 favorite. On DraftKings, he's 10-2, and one of the best pitchers in the league. So you could definitely be looking to him. Far less than ideal matchup, unfortunately, taking on Houston, but still going to be, displaying his talents. He is still Trevor Bauer and viable option. If I'm picking between the two, I think I do lean Glasnow based upon the matchups and strikeout upside. You're talking another 5% K rate up to Glasnow, so that's probably where I would be looking to. Luis Garcia taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers, 26.3% K overall, 12.2 swinging strike rate, 30.2% K rate against righties, and a 21.6% K rate against lefties. Really struggles against lefties, really good against righties. So we try to target him in right-handed heavy matchups if at all possible. And he's taking a lot of Dodgers team today that has a little bit of a blend of both. However, with that being said, I will say their right-handed hitters are, for the most part, much bigger threats than their left-handed hitters. Outside of Max Muncy, of course. But Gavin Lux, Yoshi Tsutsugo, Matthew Beat at the bottom of the order, not quite as threatening. Still some really decent bats. I mean, this Dodgers lineup's loaded up and down, but maybe enough to talk yourself on him personally. I don't think it's all too necessary. He comes in at 9K on DraftKings. Over on FanDuel, he's 7-7. I think we can just go to another guy, and the other guy is going to be Chris Paddock, taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Next on the list, 25.3% K overall, 11.4 swinging strike rate, 29.5% K rate against righties, and 21.6% K rate against lefties. Really good across the board, and more importantly, he's taking on a Milwaukee Brewers team tonight that has been striking out a bunch. Been targeting these guys all season long. Not going to stop now. Comes in as a 135 favorite. He's 7-5 on FanDuel. Over on DraftKings, we've got a price at 7-7, and just in a great spot. He's in a good spot to get the win. He's in a good spot to get some strikeout upside. They've been slowly but surely working his pitch count up. Last time I think we saw him throw the most amount of pitches we've seen him throw in quite some time. 91 pitches, 6 Ks, 1 earned run against Seattle. Was in a great matchup there, and he's in another great matchup tonight. And things are trending in the right direction for him. He's starting to find his fastball command. Things are starting to be going with a little more zing on it. I've done a little digging into as far as what the coaching staff is saying about him and the pitching coach and all that stuff. Seems like Paddock's trending in the right direction, so I'm going to like him again tonight for sure. Domingo Germán taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Less than ideal matchup, but another guy that you could be looking to for sure because of the strikeout rates there, the swinging strike rates there. 25.4% carried against righties and a 25.1% carried against lefties. Problem is, he's taking on a Toronto Blue Jays team that has been very, very good, you know. They're loaded up and down. They only have a 3.98 implied run total. It does look like there could be some weather concerns here in this game as well. But Domingo Germán, it's another situation where it's like, do I really want to target this team when I can just go to someone else like a Marcus Stroman or something, which we'll get to next. And so that's kind of how I would approach it. Even Drew Smyly and Mike Minor. Both these guys are in matchups here where there's a lot of strikeouts to go around. The Tampa Bay Rays have really been struggling against left-handed pitching. And the Philadelphia Phillies have really been struggling against left-handed pitching as far as from a strikeout aspect. So both these guys are in a great situation in their back-to-back here, so we can kind of just break them down together. Drew Smyly, 24.9% carry rate. Mike Minor, 24% carry rate. Mike Minor is much better in the hard contact. They give very similar numbers across the board as far as the righties and the slugging and the hard contact. Drew Smyly is a little bit worse in that category, but a 24.8% carry rate for Drew Smyly and a 24.3% carry rate for Mike Minor. Then you go over to the lefties, and Drew Smyly has a 25% carry rate. Mike Minor has a 22.9% carry rate. But Mike Minor does a much better job of keeping the ball on the ground against those lefties. So they're both kind of pretty similar for the most part. I mean, outside of the ground ball, but the matchup and the strikeout upside and all that stuff, like both of these guys are definitely going to be good options today. And the only thing that would make me maybe lean towards one, it would be Mike Minor strictly because of the hard contact, the slugging, and the ground ball rate for both sides of the plate is a little bit better. It does have a little bit less of a K rate against those left-handed bats, but if he's able to limit the hard contact and not really get himself in trouble, you know, you're always looking for that. So Germán Marquez taking on the New York Mets. He should be outside of Coors Field for this one, which is a great thing to see. Looks like there could be some weather concerns. It's in Citi Field, which is a great pitching environment for these pitchers. Pulling up the New York Mets home stadium, we can see, you know, a lot of red on the sheet. Not much friendliness when it comes to hitting. So Germán Marquez could also be another interesting option. Not to mention the New York Mets don't exactly have their full lineup healthy right now. They've got a lot of guys in there that we weren't seeing before these injuries. You know, there's no Michael Conforto in there, unfortunately. There's no Brandon Nimmo. And so there's some big bats that they're missing. There's no Pete Alonso. So it's a whole different ball club, and you can definitely target Germán Marquez. Nick Pivetta taking on Atlanta is a no for me. Eric Lauer taking on the Padres is a no for me. Sorry. Excuse me. And as we go along, Marcus Stroman will probably be the next guy that I'm looking to here, taking on the Colorado Rockies, and probably the last guy that I'm looking to. Just really good in the ground ball, fly ball stuff. He's a sinker baller that really does a good job of keeping the ball on the ground. Doesn't have the most elite case stuff in the world, but when he's taking on a Colorado Rockies team that's on the road, as always, we'd like to target them when they're on the road. And he is a 134 favorite, so he'd be the last guy I'm looking to as far as pitching is concerned. Definitely a good option. And with that being said, let's go ahead and transition over to bats. I like to sort my sheet by skill and active ERA. It's a good way of determining how good a pitcher's been in the past and how good they're projected to be in the future. And worst on the slate is going to be Joe Ross taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Comes in with a 19.7 K rate, not really good. It has a walk issue. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's all pretty respectable against righties. Still does give up a 437 slugging, but against lefties is where it gets really bad. A 46 slugging, giving up with a 392 WOBA, not going to get the job done. And definitely have interest in some Cincy bats, and definitely have interest in some Cincinnati lefties in particular tonight. Most notably, going to be Jesse Winker, Tyler Naquin, Tucker Barnhart. And then, as always, you know, you could definitely round out your stacks with guys like Nick Castellanos, Eugenio Suarez, Tyler Stevenson. They all have plenty of power as well. And are going to be in good situation. They're on the road. They're going to get the guaranteed top of the ninth inning at bats. And the Washington Nationals ballpark is a very friendly one when it comes to hitters. So I like the spot for sure. So they're going to be the first one that you're looking to. Jose Urena taking on the Cleveland Indians. Really bad across the board. The ground ball, fly ball stuff's good. Gives up a 366 slugging to righties. And the ground ball, fly ball stuff's pretty good again. Where he gets himself in trouble is against the lefties. 531 slugging, giving up 384 WOBA, not going to get the job done. Only a 10% K rate against those left-handed bats. Really, really bad. So we like to target him with the left-handed bats. The ground ball, fly ball stuff's still pretty good, but if they can get to him early and get him out of the bullpen, also the Detroit Tigers bullpen is terrible. So the Cleveland Indians are definitely going to be a viable stack today. Cesar Hernandez, Ahmad Rosario, Jose Ramirez, Eddie Rosario, Harold Ramirez, Josh Naylor, Owen Miller, Jacob Bowers, Austin Hedges. I honestly don't care up and down 1 through 9. I mean, if you have to leave one guy out, it would probably be Austin Hedges at the bottom of the lineup. But even then, I like doing wraparound stacks. If you're low on salary and you need a salary leaf guy, and you can fit in the guy at the bottom of the order, and then like the top 3 or 4 guys, and the guy at the bottom of the order just walks and gets on base, and then they hit him in. You're looking at really maximizing the amount of upside that you can be getting in your lineup. So I like the Cleveland Indians today. Jeff Hoffman taking on the Washington Nationals. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's all really bad against righties. He gives up a 620 slugging against lefties, the 438 slugging. He's really bad against lefties, and then you look at righties, and he's just terrible. Like this is real bad numbers. So the Washington Nationals have to be at the top of your list as far as stacks tonight. Trey Turner, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Kyle Schwarber, Starlin Castro, Josh Harrison, all the above. Just a great stack. I mean, Hoffman's not a threat, and while he did pitch in Coors Field, which might make his numbers look a little worse, you don't get a 620 slug given up without being pretty bad. So, hate to pick on Mr. Hoffman, but it's just the truth. He's going to be someone that we're looking to target tonight. Johnny Cueto taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's all pretty mediocre. The hard contact stuff's pretty respectable. Gives up a 380 slugging to righties, and then lefties it gets really, really bad. 467 slugging, 345 WOBA. Really going to like to target Johnny Cueto with some lefties, and the Arizona Diamondbacks definitely feature quite a few lefties and switch hitters, so could be a great recipe for success. And they are in Arizona, which is a great hitting environment. Pulling up the chart for you guys like I always do. In Arizona, Chase Field, green and yellow out there in the outfield, so great opportunity for them to really excel as far as hitting is concerned. And Ketel Marte, Pavin Smith, Eduardo Escobar, David Peralta, Josh Rojas, Josh Reddick, all up and down. A lot of lefties. And then you got Nick Ahmed and Carson Kelly in the middle order. I think this sets up really well for them to have a good game, and I definitely like the Arizona Diamondbacks. San Diego Padres taking on Eric Lauer. He's been really bad across the board. Ground ball, fly ball, hard contact stuff's really bad. He throws from the left hand. He's a left-handed pitcher, and that's going to be a problem taking on the San Diego Padres team with some of these bats. They have a 426 slugging, 41.8% hard contact rate, 319 WOBA, 505 slugging to lefties. He's definitely better against lefties when it comes to hard contact and ground ball, fly ball stuff, but against righties, he's been real, real bad. And the San Diego Padres just have some guys that match left-handed pitching, most notably the guy that had a minus Fernando Tatis in that cleanup spot. The guy's been absolutely in fuego. Will Myers at the bottom of the order, Austin Nola at the bottom of the order, Tommy Pham at the top, Jerks and Profar. This is 2-hole really good against left-handed pitching. And these guys are going to be in a great spot tonight. So those righties that really match lefties are going to be in a great spot. Nick Pivetta taking on the Atlanta Braves. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's all bad. Hard contact stuff's bad. A 454 slugging given up to righties. A 487 slugging given up to lefties. Another guy that we can target with hitters from both sides of the plate in this Atlanta Braves lineup is absolutely stacked. Seems like we want to play them every year at MLB DFS. It seems like there's one team. If you just stack them every single night, you'll be profitable in the year. And this year, it seems to be the Atlanta Braves. I mean, maybe that's just me. Leave in the comments your team that you find that you've been stacking in just every time you're finding that is profitable. The Braves seem to be that team for me this year. You got Acuna, Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson, Pablo Sandoval, Heredia, Ender Inciarte, William Contreras. Even William Contreras at the bottom of the order is a guy that rakes as a catcher. If you need a catcher to round out your stacks, you're playing on a site like DraftKings. Like, I feel really confident putting him in my stacks. So I like the Braves stack a lot. Looks like there's going to be 16-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out to center in Fenway. So could be another great hitting spot. Keep an eye on the weather there. Merrill Kelly, another bad pitcher. We got a lot of bad pitchers that we can target in the slate, guys. Ground ball, fly ball, hard contact's not good. A 465 slugging given up to righties. A 421 slugging given up to lefties. Does not scare us across the board. He is pitching in Arizona, which is a great hitting environment. And the San Francisco Giants are definitely going to be a team that I'm liking today. Mike Yastrzemski, Buster Posey, Alex Dickerson, Brandon Bell, Evan Longoria, Brandon Crawford, Mike Tauchman at the bottom of the order can slug, Donovan Solano. 1 through 9. I have some interest. My favorites would be Mike Yastrzemski and Alex Dickerson, based upon the fact that they're lefties and it's in Arizona, which plays very friendly to lefties. Down that right field line is very, very good to those left-handed hitters. And these guys have a lot of power. And Merrill Kelly just doesn't really strike anyone out, especially lefties. Dips down to a 17.8% K overall. So like those Giants bats. All right, so hold up. I had Drew Smyly taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. That is not true. If you watched this far, I apologize. He's taking on the Boston Red Sox. So my analysis earlier of him taking on the Phillies was not relevant. I'm sorry about that. Quick correction. And just disclaimer, I would not be targeting him against the Red Sox. They're a much more difficult matchup. Not as much strikeouts to be going around there. And yeah, sorry about that, guys. He's taking on the Boston Red Sox. And if anything, you could definitely target these Red Sox. They have a 5.41 implied run total. Enrique Hernandez, JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, Christian Vasquez, Hunter Renfroe, Danny Santana, and Bobby Dahlbeck. And yeah, I would have interest in stacking these guys up, and the Atlanta Braves bullpen isn't the greatest either. I'll make sure I put a disclaimer. I'll pin at the top of this video that he's taken on Boston from the beginning. So sorry about that. Well, I wouldn't pitch Drew Smyly, and I would have interest in some Red Sox stacks. So Cal Cantrell taking on Detroit. He's just going to be an opener, so I'm not really interested in targeting him. I'm not really interested in pitching him. Mike Minor, I'm not really interested in targeting many Tampa Bay Rays bats. There's a few guys that slug lefties, but for the most part, they're pretty bad against those left-handed pitchers. I'm sorry. If I am going to someone, it'd be Randy Arozarena and Mike Brosseau. Those are really the only two guys. And then third, Mike Zunino as a catcher. He really crushes left-handed pitching. So those three guys are really the only ones I'm going to be looking to play in that lineup. And that's when things kind of fade out for me, honestly. I'm not all too excited to play any of these guys. Domingo Germán in Yankee Stadium, he really struggles against left-handed hitting. He's a guy that I have no issues with targeting against lefties. Luis Garcia, the same rule applies to him, right above him. So these are the two guys I'd really be looking to target as far as lefties. And honestly, these next four guys, Garcia, Domingo Germán, Chris Paddack, and Trevor Bauer. Garcia and Domingo Germán are definitely by far the worst against lefties. So those are the two guys I'm looking to target, before I talk about the other two, with Dodgers and Toronto Blue Jays lefties. So Dodgers, Max Muncy, Gavin Lux, Yoshi Tsugo, Matthew Beatty. I would not play Yoshi Tsugo. The guy's bat's just not very talented. I don't believe in the talent. I'm sorry, but I'm not risking real life money for him to perform. It's just not happening. And then as far as these other guys are concerned, the lefties in the Toronto lineup, they don't really have too many lefties, but the ones that do crack the lineup, you can definitely be playing. Rowdy Tellez, Joe Panik. Unfortunately, there's no Kevon Biggio right now, so can't really play him. Chris Paddack, same thing. Lefties, you could be stacking up Milwaukee, specifically Christian Yelich, of course. Could definitely be an interesting target tonight. And they're in Milwaukee, which is a great ballpark to target left-handed hitters in as well. If you're pulling up the Milwaukee Brewers chart here, you can see the right field line. Very good to target for those left-handed hitters. And gonna like Colt Wong, Daniel Vogelbach, Christian Yelich, Omar Narvaez, Travis Shaw. Definitely a viable stack. I like Chris Paddack as well. These are all guys that either strike out or hit the ball pretty hard. So it's a situation where you can play Chris Paddack. If Chris Paddack's going to be really popular, maybe you stack up the Brewers, and it's a great leverage stack. Everyone has Chris Paddack, and those lefties really go off. And then you're looking at yourself being at the top of tournaments. I think it's a great spot to play both sides of the coin there. And then Trevor Bauer taking on Houston. No one's going to target Trevor Bauer, and he's been pretty bad against left-hand hitting, to be honest. And the Houston Astros have some really good lefties. Guys like Michael Brantley, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, those three. Guaranteed they're going to have no ownership. And Trevor Bauer's really bad on the fly ball, hard contact, all that stuff against lefties. He has a good K rate, but if they can get into one, there's a possibility they take him deep. No one's going to have them. That's going to make you go up a lot in tournaments. So with that being said, that is all for me as far as this breakdown. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my home run call of the day. Let's get into it. And my home run call of the day today is going to be JD Martinez taking on Drew Smyly, the lefty hurler out there. JD Martinez has always crushed left-handed pitching, and Drew Smyly has some serious hard contact issues. Bad in the ground ball, fly ball stuff. Going to be a lot of hard contact given up. Going to be a lot of balls hit in the air. And when specifically looking at what he's relying on as far as his repertoire is concerned, JD Martinez absolutely mashes. Really reliant on the fastball. On average, going to throw a 90 to 92 mile-an-hour fastball. As far as how JD Martinez fares against that pitch, he features a 297 ISO with a 431 WOBA, 42.31% hard contact rate. And Drew Smyly's secondary pitch, very reliant on the curveball. He'll go to that about 30% of the time. And JD Martinez absolutely mashes that pitch off left-handed pitching. A 500 ISO with a 540 WOBA, 50% hard contact rate. Love this spot for JD Martinez. Get him in your lineups because he is my home run call of the day. So there you have it, guys. JD Martinez, get him in your lineups. And that is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. Wish you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.